let's do a correlation analysis. Today, we're going to use both SPSS and JASP, starting with SPSS. And the data file that we use is called D1. So here I have 41 variables. Let's choose 2 of them for a correlation analysis: self-esteem and life satisfaction. These two. I want to look at the association between these 2 variables. Before calculating the correlation coefficient, it's a good idea to visualize this association, the association between these 2 variables. So I go to graphs, legacy dialogues, and choose a scatter plot. And here I choose simple scatter because I have only 2 variables, and I want to look at a simple scatter plot. Send one of your variables to y-axis box and one of them to x-axis box. And click OK. Here you can see that the 2 variables have a positive association with each other. And as self-esteem increases, life satisfaction tend to increase as well. So I get a sense that there is a positive association between these 2 variables from this plot. But I still don't know if this is really a positive correlation and if it is statistically significant. For that, we need to calculate a correlation coefficient. So I go to Analyze and Correlate and Bivariate. The default is Pearson correlation coefficient. So that's what we want. I send self-esteem and life satisfaction to the variables box and click OK. And this is the result of correlation analysis given in a matrix. Self-esteem and life satisfaction, the correlation is 0.456. So my guess was correct. There's a positive correlation. And is it statistically significant? We look at the significance level or p-value. It's very close to 0. So smaller than 0.05. So we can say that we have a positive and statistically significant correlation between self-esteem and life satisfaction. Now here, I just want to tell you about the feature of SPSS, and that is you can send as many variables as you want to this box. So I sent 2 more variables. I have 4 variables here, and you can get the results by just one click in the form of a matrix. So for example, the correlation between positive relationships and life satisfaction is 0.308, which is statistically significant. So each correlation is repeated 2 times in this matrix. If you want to see it only 1 time, so the lower triangle, there is an easy way to do it. You need to go to the same window, bivariate, and here click show only the lower triangle. Okay, and this time you get the lower triangle of the matrix. Now let's do it in JASP. In JASP, you need to go to regression. And in the classical section, you choose correlation. Again, you need to find your variables, self-esteem, life satisfaction, and send them to the variables box. And here you get your correlation, which is 0.456, identical between the SPSS and JASP. You get the identical correlation coefficient. And it's very close to 0. So it is statistically significant. Here again, you can add more variables if you want. As you add more variables, your matrix grows bigger and bigger. JASP has some more attractive options here. You can easily get the scatter plots by clicking here. So you can get all the scatter plots, look and visualize the associations. you can get confidence intervals for each correlation. So these are point estimates, like life satisfaction, self-esteem. The point estimate of the correlation is 0.456. But what is the confidence interval? The confidence interval, a 95% confidence interval, is given here. The lower limit and upper limit for this correlation are given here. And for this correlation are given here. So JASP gives you confidence intervals, which is very useful. Another feature of JASP that is very attractive is you can, instead of getting a matrix, you can get display the results pairwise. And here it's way easier to look at your correlation and confidence interval next to each other. So the correlation between self-esteem and life satisfaction is 0.456, and the confidence interval is presented here. And the p-value is next to the point estimate. So this is another attractive feature of JASP. That's all about correlation analysis.